Jordan's stressing.
He's always
They've got a heart rate app as well, which I like. Just for like more detail.
for sure.
Shit, auto sleep might actually be free.
All right, so yeah, mine goes down to 47.
Okay, nice.
Heart.
I guess the hockey cardio offsets the cigarettes.
I don't smoke anymore. You know that.
No, I don't.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't believe you in any way.
I don't smoke cigarettes since like October, bro.
What do you meth now? Crack?
Nah, just Herculean doses of peyote each day.
There we go.
Yeah. No, man. We stop. Just gotta stop the vape now.
Oh, okay. So nothing's changed. Gotcha.
Dude, the cardio has been great lately, man. Get in it.
Shocked.
You know what?
Shocked.
You know what? Jordan and yeah, I know. Jordan and I, he said we're gonna share the Apple Watch. We're gonna do we'll share that. I'll hit you up. We'll do the same thing, man. We'll keep each other disciplined here.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out that Jordan moved 1 calories worth for the day because he produced 9 shows and was just baked on the couch for the rest of the day ordering DoorDash.
Josh, I asked him a couple months ago. I was like, do you get steps in? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I get around 1,000. That's what he said.
You're missing a 0.
Which can't be right. That can't be right.
I mean, I get it.
Jordan, what's your average step count per day? If you had to guess.
At this point, probably it depends on the day. Like Monday, Tuesday, I'm pretty busy. Like what? So probably like 300. Like nothing crazy.
Dude, that's not. I'm telling you, that's not possible. You getting up just to take a dump, coming back, and going to make food. Even those my 600-pound life people get more than 300.
Then I have no idea, to be honest.
You have an Apple Watch, dude. You just told me you had not. You don't.
I wear it like selectively. Like I'll wear it when I go.
Got
smart.
300 steps would be like.
You might as well just get a regular watch then, Jordan.
Yeah. That doesn't help if you just wear it. If you're working, you gotta do it at 300 steps, dude. No, I guarantee minimum you're getting at least like 1,000, at least.
At least,
even if you're
yeah.
Even if you're absurdly sedentary, there's no way. I had a hangover day not so long ago. I got like 786 in though.
Oh, those are the days where you're like you're going the other way with it. Like there are days where you're trying to put as much on the clock as you can, and then there are days where it's like, I wonder how low I can keep this number.
Exactly. I thought about taking the watch off, and I was like, you know what? Every hour was telling me to stand up.
Every hour you're like, dismiss.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Stokastic.com NBA strategy show presented by PrizePicks. I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D on Twitter, joined by Joshua Engleman at Josh Engleman on the Twitters as well. Of course, Jordan Klein producing this one. SportsWiz said, someone get this man a wheelchair, talking about Jordan.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, he needs a hover round. Remember those?
I do. I would like a hoverboard. That could be fun. Dude, I've never used one of them shits.
That'd be sick. Do you think if Jordan lived in a 2-story house, he'd have one of those things where you sit in the chair that takes you up and down the steps?
Yeah. I looked into them. They're not that expensive. A couple thousand.
But installs probably a lot. Unless they probably install it for you.
Yeah, you can get them for a couple thousand.
Should we get him a life alert too?
That's probably more expensive over the course of 2 years.
No questions. You guys, happy to have you guys with us. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Just hop in here. Like I said, those stupid signs when they leave when they leave the locker room, they tap it. Same process. Just make it habitual, make it a routine, make it ritualistic. You hit the thumbs up, you get into it. You subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And if you guys are listening after the fact, hey, leave a comment down below. We love to read the comments. We read them all at the very least. We try and respond to all of them. Not everybody's able to watch live. People have things going on. We get that. And if you're listening in podcast form, we see you. Leave a rating, a review. subscribe to the pod, tell your friends. All that stuff goes a long way. How you feeling, dude?
Good enough. I mean, I got absolutely destroyed last night in DFS, which didn't go well. But
Oh, I thought you were going to say destroyed last night. It's a Monday. That's not like you.
I mean, I was ready to once I woke up. Like, I wish I could have retroactively went back and drank. I mean, it was a bad night for 150 maxers in general. Just a lot of negative half your bankroll in the big $15 last night, and I was certainly part of the group that just took it on the chin. 4 guys profited of the 75 that maxed. Only one of them was profit over $1,000, and that was only $1,200.
Wow.
I would say, just eyeballing it here, 60 of the 75 lost 1,000 or more.
What I'm trying to think, like Cameron Thomas went nuclear.
I mean, Jordan Poole was 64% owned, 7x. Edmund Sumner was 48% owned, 8x. Cam Thomas was 37% owned, 11x. Jaden Hardy was 26% owned, 13x. Kelly Olynyk was 29% owned. He got to 5.5, which is actually bad, but still, like, you know,
yeah, he
functional.
had like 23 or something on draft. That was rough.
It was just the top 7 guys all just went nuke city.
Yeah, they weren't. I don't really think that was bad chalk in most cases, though.
It was just weird. Like, do you really trust? Like, I think the pool chalk was fine, and I felt good there. I had 100% pool. I checked Petty's ownership. He had 100%, so that generally makes me feel like I did the right thing. But between Sumner, Cam Thomas, Jaden Hardy, then you got like McKinley Wright later on in the day. Washington opened up a little bit with someone like Denny when Beal went down. You had a lot of different options, but there wasn't a single guy that anybody should have been like ultra confident in, other than maybe if you want to say Cam Thomas. But like, I don't really love matchups against the Clippers, and he's still Cam Thomas. So it just so happened like all of those guys worked.
5K.
Right. Like Edmund Sumner was 4,500, and they both got there as aggressively as someone can get there as chalk.
And then Hardy didn't start, so I wonder how much that pushed his. He was great though. I mean, it was a weird one. There's no doubt.
Not enough people ended up with the 49.25 fantasy points from Andre Drummond yesterday.
Dude, Adam and I talked about that on the show.
We talked about it on the strategy show too. Like, I mean, it's there if Caruso doesn't play. I mean, we didn't see that coming. 9 of 9 from the field, couple free throws, 15 boards and 4 stocks.
Damn.
In 21 minutes.
Of the 5 lineups I played, the one guy that I wish I had just gotten more, Derek White was one where he, like, what was he owned at? Because he had a great game.
12%.
What did he finish with?
42.75.
Yeah.
I had 17%.
Okay. Yeah, he had a nice game. Real nice game. Clay had a nice game.
Went for 50.
Tatum got off to a brutal start. And Giannis.
I had no Tatum at 25% ownership. For the first 2.5 quarters, I was like, oh, he's never going to provide value.
Well, how much Giannis did you have?
None.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because Giannis was disappointing for sure. And of course it was just a straight blowout, but yeah.
I had legit no Tatum and 3% Giannis. And when I saw Tatum in the middle of the third quarter, I was like, oh, like, I'm sitting pretty. I don't, like, if these pay up options don't work, I'm in great shape. Nope.
Not the case.
Not so fast, my
So then
friends.
who killed you?
Just
everybody. Not having the enough heavy chalk.
Yeah. Şengün hurt me a bunch. He was basically unowned. I took a shot there. Figured, oh, it's Sacramento. That's a great matchup. It wasn't. I didn't have enough Cam Thomas. Like, Wiggins was fine. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan were 2 pretty big stands I had. They were both 10% owned against San Antonio, but it happened to be not LaVine and DeRozan. It was obviously Andre Drummond that went crazy. So,
yeah. Well, we got Brooklyn again today, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You got Chicago on the second of a back-to-back as well. Few teams playing second of a back-to-back. Let's talk about it, man. 6-game slate. As always, glad to have you guys with us. We'll dive into it with the Knicks and the Orlando Magic. So the New York Knicks coming off, impressive win against the Philadelphia 76ers without RJ Barrett. He's questionable coming into this one as well. Looking at this game, 225 total. There's two games with relatively low totals on a 6-game slate. This is going to be one of them. Of course, a lot of this is going to be contingent upon whether or not RJ Barrett's on the floor tonight. Yes,
it is. And I don't want to talk about the Knicks beating the Sixers. One, I've got a bet positively for the Sixers. Surprise, surprise. They always cost me too.
The bet you lost to me years ago was
they're always
a positive. I went negative on Sixers.
Yeah, well, that didn't get me anywhere. I've got Sixers regular season wins over the Cavs, just straight up, which was looking good. But I don't need them losing to the Knicks. Not only that, I had a giant stand on RJ Barrett on Sunday, and he got scratched 2 minutes after the game started, which was a real blast for me. So, it's been better with regards to the Knicks over the past couple of days. Really not liking it. The problem here is that if RJ Barrett plays, I love him at 6,300. You just need to hope that he gets the 37 minutes a game that he normally plays instead of the 29 when they decide to go to quickly. But I think Barrett is my favorite play from the Knicks. He's getting a little bit of ownership. I don't know if the Q tag's holding him down, but we're talking about a guy that's like a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy that averages like 37 minutes a game and gets upwards of 40, depending on how well it breaks. I think the price tag just works here. It's a small forward position that I think is very difficult to fill. But it's not just that. Like, I'm happy to get any one of these starters. Jalen Brunson, I think, looks really good, particularly on FanDuel at 7,900. You could always go to Julius Randle since he has the power forward center eligibility. You're going to get 38 minutes out of him. You're going to get like basically every minute that he can handle. Obi Toppin obviously going to take the opposite side of that one. Grimes is going to play a ton. If you don't like RJ Barrett today, then you should just by default like Emmanuel Quickly, because if anybody's going to get the minutes from Barrett, it's Quickly. They don't seem to be going to anybody else. And then I don't mind taking the shot on Isaiah Hartenstein at 4,400, but you need it to break right that he's going to get more minutes than the starter.
Yeah, listen, last game he fouled out, but Hartenstein played 26. He attempted one field goal, which is, kind of something you can run into at times, but he played 26 minutes and he was in line to play more had he not fouled out of that game. So once again, you were looking at yet another Hartenstein game where at that price point, he's probably when did he foul out? I want to pull this up. I'm pretty sure he fouled out like with a few minutes still remaining, but it's unimportant. What do you make of this Quickly ownership coming in north of 20, almost 22%, and we have Barrett projected in?
I mean, I to a degree, I get it, but if this just goes like normal, Quickly's going to play like 29, 30 minutes, and he's probably a little over-owned at 21%. Now, when Barrett is out, you want to get to Quickly, even at 5,400, but I don't it's not like he's been playing great. You need those minutes. He's at 0.75 fantasy points per minute over the past 30 days. Like, he's not hot right now. But you get these days where RJ Barrett plays 31 minutes in regulation or 27, and all of those minutes that aren't adding up to like 36 to 38 go directly to Emmanuel Quickly. In those cases, he's going to look good. 21% just feels like too much for right now.
On the other side of this one, you're looking at a spot where Okiki's still out, of course, and Mo Bamba's out. He's suspended for this one. Not sure how much of a difference that's going to make, but we can dive into this a little bit here. Now, it's been an Orlando team that's largely been healthy lately, so hasn't really provided us with a ton of value, especially when they're not playing in great matchups. You got them today. Wendell Carter. I still think Wendell Carter Jr. makes some sense here. Reasonable price point, solid per minute producer. We have Fultz around 14% at 5,800. You're going to get a decent amount of peripheral opportunities from him, albeit not exactly the most prolific scorer. But those are really the only two guys that pop on a 6-game slate. Do you have any, do you want to pay for Banchero today? Is there anybody else you want to get to for Orlando?
I like Franz Wagner today for 6,400 more than anything else really on this team. And it's mostly just a GPP play. Like, I understand that they shouldn't pull a ton of ownership, but Franz Wagner's 6% owned. We don't have a ton of value. He's got shooting guard, small forward eligibility, which means you also get guard forward and utility. And he's been playing a bit more as of late, playing about 33 minutes a night. You can get upwards of 36 in a competitive matchup. This is a 1.5 point line. This is the closest line on the slate. So at the very least, you expect a competitive matchup. So you can assume that you can get 35, 36 out of Franz Wagner here. And for 6% ownership for a starter on this size slate, I think he's getting slept on a bit. Now, I don't mind getting to Banchero. I have some, but I have many multiples of the field on Franz. I'm at about 23% right now. I'm 2xing Fultz at 5,800, who also is playing more minutes right now. He's playing about 31. The foul trouble issues have seemed to go away at least a little bit. And then I agree with you, Wendell Carter Jr. at 6K. You know, he's a fantasy point per minute guy. He's going to play 28 to 32 minutes. And while we know that we have a ton of centers every night, no one's taking his minutes away. Mo Bamba isn't available for this one. Not that he generally, he hasn't really been a part of the rotation anyway, but still out with the suspension. So any one of those main four guys, Banchero, Wagner, Fultz, and Carter, I think they all look really nice in GPPs. My preference is Franz Wagner.
Who's your favorite play from this game? Is it Barrett if he plays?
It is Barrett if he plays.
Let's talk about the Hawks then. 1.5 point dogs going up against the Pels. Both Brandon Ingram and Joe Valanciunas, who had a scare the other day, are both probable on the Pelicans side. For Atlanta, you've just got a clean bill of health across the board. Yeah. Of course, things can pop up, but this team is entirely healthy right now. At least anyone who's going to see the floor, it can make it kind of difficult to get there. Now, high total game, usually the Pels are a type of team you could see conducive to some quality, shootout type conditions here. But Trae Young, are you? And I should preface this with looking at the point guard position today. You have guys like SGA, you have John Morant. I think Irving's not expected to play until Irving's gone playing with Dallas tomorrow, so he's not even on the slate.
Right.
John Morant, Booker's coming back. You have to imagine they're going to be careful with him and kind of limit that playing time. Yeah. The point I'm making though, is like a lot of times you just see a loaded point guard position. Do you think Trae Young is one of the better, 9K plus point guards today?
I don't have much of an issue with him. I prefer John Morant by quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer SGA if I could find the salary. I have no problem getting to Trae. I think he might be a tad over-owned, but 10% of Trae makes sense. We saw DeJounte Murray's price jump $900 since their last game. This is a guy that was $7,900 2 weeks ago, and now is up to $9,200. So there's not a lot left to squeeze out of Murray's price. I'm looking more at DeAndre Hunter at $5,200. And so much of what I'm looking at this point is because we don't really have any value on the slate. So you start funneling to the guys that have MPEs and these mid-tier prices because it just makes it a lot easier to build out your lineup. So whether that's Hunter playing 34 minutes a night at 5,200, John Collins playing, somewhere in that 31, 32 minute a game night, power forward center, it makes no sense that he has that eligibility. We shouldn't be able to put him in at center at all. He doesn't play center ever. They split 48 minutes between Capella and Okongwu, but that flexibility helps. So Hunter and Collins are the guys that I have my eye on at least a little bit, although I think that goes away by the time we get to 7:00.
And then it just thins out from there. Are you at all enticed by the notion that maybe Bogdanovich plays 30 plus minutes that's pretty much what you'd have to hope for once you get to this point. Capella 60, DeJounte Murray, like you said, his price point shoots up almost $1,000, but that's after Trae Young's back. So that's prohibitive. Yeah, you're right. There's really not a lot here.
No, it's really hard. You can always play someone like Trae Young at 9,400. It's just hard to. I don't want to give him too much to talk about because I'm gonna mention other point guards later and talk about them in a more glowing light. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't play Trae Young. He's always going to look like a solid option. I just don't think he's the best option you could pay up for at point guard.
Anything else from this game?
From the Atlanta side?
Yeah, that's it. Right?
Nothing from Atlanta. The Pelican side is tasty.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was. Dude, how about this, by the way? Brandon Ingram, and I know I mentioned this after his first few games. Brandon Ingram, since he has returned, has a 38.8% usage rate. He's $7,100. on DraftKings. His price is just bouncing around that high 6, low 7K range. Dude is absolutely chucking every single day.
And boy, oh boy, does he look good today. 95% of my line, he's in 95% of my lineups. That's more than the 50% that we're showing in ownership. Why in the world is he 7,100?
It makes no sense.
This
Without
is a man
Zion.
that played no Zion. He missed Sunday's game on the second half of a back-to-back. That's a rest day. The 3 games he played before that, 33 minutes, 36 minutes, 32 and a half minutes. This is a guy who, at the start of the season in November, was in the mid-8s. In the midsection of January, those games that we just played, he was 7,600 on the 31st of January, and somehow his price went down. This is the no-brainer of all no-brainers. We're talking about 30+% usage, a 25-ish% assist rate. He's a 1.15 fantasy point per minute guy in a really nice matchup in what should be a competitive game. He's the first guy you're putting in every lineup. It doesn't matter what news comes out today, other than Brandon Ingram out. He's the best play for today, and it's not going to get any better.
I have zero disagreement there whatsoever. He should be for sure north of 8K in this spot.
If CJ McCollum is 8K, Brandon Ingram is more expensive than CJ McCollum.
Right. And he's $1,000 cheaper.
But he's not the only like good Pelican. I don't mind going to CJ at 8K. I think that price is still reasonable with Zion out. We're talking 26% usage and a 25% assist rate, close to 1.05 to 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Joe Val's pulling 22% ownership at 5,700. That's a testament to what this slate looks like. 1.25 fantasy points per minute. Best of luck figuring out how many minutes this dude plays.
That's
I gave
the
him
problem with him though, Josh. Is like Joe Val routinely makes for an amazing low-owned play because if you get it right, you're crushing. But if he's going to be pulling close to 25% ownership today, and you're hoping that this guy plays close to 30 minutes for the first time since what? January 25th.
It's not frequent. It's not frequent. It's a testament of what this center slate looks like today. And it's part of the reason why I end up getting to guys like John Collins, because I gave Joe Val 24 minutes, splitting the minutes with Nance. I'm getting a comparable amount to him. And I think that's just a tale of what this slate looks like. But this dude regularly, as of late, not playing big minutes. This is not a guy that is like live for major playing time. Maybe you get lucky and he gets up to 28, at which point you're probably going to need him. But there's a lot of downside here too if you're scared. And then someone like Jose Alvarado is pulling 25% ownership. That right there is the explanation of where value is for today. Because Alvarado, 3 out of his last 4 games, has played 14 minutes. And this is a guy that's in a quarter of lineups right now. Feels a little aggressive for the Pels. I like some of these plays. Like, I'm happy to get to Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, these guys that play 30 minutes, but we're seeing what this slate looks like based on the Pelicans' ownership, ignoring Brandon Ingram, who is very much properly owned at 50%.
How viable do you think taking the approach of just not paying top dollar for certain players today and going more of a balanced approach to get away from some where it stands right now? It's what, 10, almost 10:30 on the East Coast. Like a lot can change from now till the deeper dive, live before lock to actual tip. But like, how viable do you think that approach is? Saying, maybe I don't want to go with a heavy, stars and scrubs approach here and just try to throw darts and hit on the Jose Alvarados of the world.
I think it's like half and half for me right now. As I look at it, I've got some Jokic. I don't have LeBron, which I know people are going to freak out about because he's on that points record run for today. But I'm getting to a bunch of AD. I'm getting to a bunch of Ja in this 10K plus range. We're seeing Randall get some love. So based on where the value is right now, I think you're trying to get one guy in the 5-figure salary range. I don't think that you can manage to get much more than that, and you really need to work your way down. That's why we're seeing that sort of Alvarado ownership. But I think that goes away by the time we get to lock.
Let's talk about Phoenix and Brooklyn then.
Okay.
So you got the Suns getting Devin Booker back. Now, of course, still no Landry Shamet, no Cameron Payne. Not to say that that's a huge deal here, but those are guys, and you're still missing. Dude, look at ownership on this team. It tells you kind of everything you need to know. On one hand, certain players are priced to have no Devin Booker. Devin Booker's exorbitantly priced for a guy that's. Do you agree with me in saying that it seems unlikely he isn't limited after not playing since Christmas and then re-aggravating it on Christmas Day and playing 4 minutes?
I gave him 30 minutes. I don't think that he's going to go out there and play 36. If he's starting, I wouldn't rule it out. Luckily for us, he's 9,500 on DraftKings, and we don't really have to care.
Yeah, completely impressed. Now, it's a good spot against the, against the banged up Brooklyn team, but it doesn't. It's the one guy that we have pulling more than 3% ownership is Dario Saric at 21% right now.
Yeah, look, he could potentially just leave the rotation today. I don't necessarily think that's happening, but he could. But he's 3,400 and power forward center eligible. I gave him 18 minutes. I have half of what the public has right now. He is my most exposed Phoenix Sun. I think this team looks downright dreadful across the board because of Booker coming back. I don't know where you find the value or the minutes for anybody else. And Dario Saric is, I can't say that that's good chalk because he wasn't a part of what they were doing earlier. If they want to change this up a little bit, they start giving more minutes to Cam Johnson. They could just as easily give more minutes to Torrey Craig. They don't need to play Dario Saric that much. That one scares me a lot. I'm running away from that.
Also, the worst mustache you'll ever see on that guy.
I have no idea.
Oh man, just pull it up. Just do a quick Google search.
I mean, is it because he has to have a bad mustache?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean, that's frightening. But like, I don't think that I think he had, no, because there are times where it's a little bit more grown in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that he can't grow that like that.
You're saying you don't think he can grow hair right here?
I think it's that physical deformity that he has.
Yeah, the clef or whatever it is. Yeah, but maybe look, I'm not trying to be mean here, but maybe just go with goatee.
It's like the inverse Hitler mustache. That's the only part that doesn't come in.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's kind of wild and he grows it out thick too. It's not like he wants it to be recognizable. It's rough, dude. I'm telling you, that thing is rough. If you could,
he looks equally as weird without it. So
you ever look at I don't think he does.
He's got that look in his face like, I got a body in a hole in my basement.
I don't know, man. I think he looks fine without it. I don't think it looks that bad. I'm looking at one right now. I mean, sure, there's something, with the lip, but I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. All right.
Okay.
I'm saying without the mustache, I don't think it's that bad. Would you? I mean, if you had that issue, would you be like, you know what? I'm just gonna grow 2 side lip mustaches that don't connect and get them girthy.
I mean, I already grow in some real dog shit facial hair, so it doesn't seem to bother me at all.
Down here, I got some.
It's just, it's so patchy and white trash. I'm Joe Dirt, man.
I got some spots.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not for me. I mean, I have a legit spot right here where it'll never grow in again from getting shingles.
Wait, like right here?
It's underneath here.
Yeah, mine's right
just
there.
under the jaw. It's a dead spot. I can scratch it as hard as I can. I don't even know that it happens.
Wait, you don't have feeling there?
No.
What happened?
I had shingles.
Oh, you had shingles already at that? How old were you with shingles?
24.
It seems like a young age to get shingles.
Have I not shown you the picture?
Wait.
Do you want to be mortified?
The average, about half of all shingles cases are in adults age 60 or older.
2012. So I was 27.
You had shingles at 27?
Dude, I'm going to ruin your day.
That's already ruined.
Jordan, I'm sending this to you too.
Can we throw it up on the screen? Can we throw it on the screen?
People are going to throw up on the screen.
Can we do it though?
I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't care. It's on my Instagram, so I don't care at all.
TTID forever said half, not all. Laffy, my dog. I know, dude. But okay, go look. Let's see what percentage of people under 30 get shingles. I bet it's very low.
Let's see. Jordan Klein, Dave Loughran. There we go. I'm gonna ruin both of your days. And if Jordan puts this up on the screen, we might get flagged.
Hold on. I'll be the
I promise.
It says the link. It says the link is broken. It says the link is broken. We'll have to figure this out.
Hold on. I can just unset my profile or whatever to locked.
Now I really want to do it.
Fuck, how do you do this?
And
privacy,
yes, Mark Curry, the TV ad does say almost everyone has shingles. And
okay, there you go. It's not private anymore, so you should be able to see it.
I remember getting the chickenpox vaccine, and then 2 weeks later, I got a wicked case of chickenpox. Oh yeah, look at you.
It's bad, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that didn't ruin it doesn't really gross me out or anything. It's
not you personally, but like that's as bad as it can look.
That's rough, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, you look like something you'd see at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it was bad. I missed work for like 2 weeks, and then I couldn't. So I was working in a bank at the time, so you had to wear a shirt and tie. I couldn't even do that. I had to just wear an open collar. It was gross.
Jordan, put it on the screen.
It was so gross.
You don't care if I do, right?
Me or Jordan?
You. Jordan.
I wouldn't bring it up on this show if I cared.
Jordan freaked out to do anything.
Yeah.
All right. Throw it up. Throw it up. Hey,
I thought it was a spider bite. It started as like the tiniest thing, and I was just like, I think I got bit.
Was it only here?
It was all up here, all through the back of my head.
Is it as painful as they say?
It was really, really unappealing.
Do you put anything on it, or do you take medicine, or does it just go? Is it just a process where you have to let it go away?
You take herpes medication.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had the herpes.
Would you get it from kissing your own dick?
I already had it, so it was fine.
That's what I was saying.
Kidding. But no, that's really what you take. They gave me an ointment, but if you rub the ointment on, it just popped all of that gross shit that's on the screen. So I just didn't really do that.
Damn, dude. And then you got Matt Gajewski, who almost died from meningitis, was in the hospital for like 5 months.
Yeah, it's not good.
We've had some stuff happen here. It's the thing. Hey, I want to before we get to like Cam Thomas and Sumner, what do you make of Simmons today? And I'll give you something interesting. So yesterday, Cameron Thomas had, and I'm glad you're back to normal despite the bald patch and no feeling inside of your face.
Yeah, you and me both.
Thomas had like a 40% usage rate yesterday, but get this, not a single player on this team had more than 7 potential assists. That's so there insane. Wasn't like, it was just Chuck. Do you think Ben Simmons, who said he's returning today, do you think his playmaking ability and ball handling ability is enough to play a decent amount of him, given that we're not confident in his playing time?
I don't have a damn clue what this team is going to do today.
Neither do I.
Like, I don't think he starts anymore. But I don't know.
You don't think he starts?
By the way, Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith are not in the salary file on DraftKings yet. Let's put that out there for right now. They don't exist yet. I don't think Simmons starts. He could. I don't know if he does. I don't really know who starts. Other than I'm quite confident that it's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie and Nick Claxton if they're both available. You assume it's Royce O'Neal. And then they should start Dorian Finney-Smith. He's certainly one of the 5 best players on the Nets. But do you start Joe Harris? Do you start Ben Simmons? Do you reward Cam Thomas for yesterday's day and start him at the 2? I don't have a damn clue who they're going to start today.
Me neither. And truthfully, you know, you can look at this team and be like, oh God, they're in the depths of hell with the Kyrie thing and the Kevin Durant injury. They're still 5th place in the East. You know, it's like this is still a team that is vying for, you know, playoff positioning and stuff. So do you reward Cam Thomas or do you go, no, you're back to the bench because like we're still trying to win games? Like, let's be fair, they still lost yesterday. Man, I don't know either, man. It's a really tough call. How convinced are you that Dinwiddie plays today?
Not at all. I mean,
Right.
like,
So that
we'll know. We'll know. But so, like, that doesn't actually, like, I don't care that much. If this were a 10:30
I just mean
start
for the
or
sake
something,
of conversation now, because
I
we'll
have
know in
him
the
in.
afternoon.
I have him in for 33 minutes. Given the final price that he had in Dallas, I don't think he's going to look all that great. He could be okay. I'd probably be more interested in Dorian Finney-Smith, honestly, just coming to a new team. But I don't really know how to really look at this. And they could also, they're trying to potentially trade Spencer Dinwiddie. You know, maybe they sit him again until we get past Thursday. There's also that. But for right now, I have him in because I don't think they want to try to drop any games. You know, they'll take what they can get. There are so many question marks for a team on a back-to-back today that I don't think that there's anything that we could really answer. And we certainly need them to get salaries on DraftKings before anything happens. Like, Cam Thomas is a weird one. At 5,200, if you think he's coming off the bench, I still think he's interesting. If they reward him with a start, he's one of the best plays of the day. But we got to remember, they don't give a shit about Cam Thomas. Let's not forget, it doesn't matter how many points he scored yesterday. This guy is not a part of anything they're trying to do right now.
That's what I'm saying. They're still trying to win. They're not like, hey, let's develop for the future. You know,
right.
By the way, Dinwiddie's 7,900 on FanDuel. I don't think it's a lock that he plays, obviously, because it took so long for that trade to finally go through, too. But he's 7,900 on FanDuel.
Okay, it's an okay price at no ownership, I guess.
Yeah. But we have no idea, even if he does play, how many. God, it's such a tough spot. Let's say Dinwiddie sits. Let me just let's just say Dinwiddie sits. Do you go back to Thomas and Sumner? And because I'm assuming Seth Curry's out. Do you assume he's also out?
Yeah, I think he's actually out for a couple games.
Me too. He's got like an adductor strain, and those don't usually heal up in a day. Second of a back-to-back. Would you like Thomas and Sumner a lot still, given that, let's say Simmons is in, because we know he's expected to play, and Dinwiddie is out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like Sumner no matter what at 4,100. He's like a 0.9 guy. They just need someone to handle the ball. So I think he's just going to be out there either way. Like I said, I gave Cam Thomas 25 minutes, and this is with Ben Simmons in, with Dinwiddie in, with DFS in. I like him for 25 minutes. I don't 33% ownership like him. I'd be a little lighter there. But any minute above that starts to get really, really good for Cam Thomas. I think there are only 3 guys that you can play today as presently constituted: Nick Claxton, Cam Thomas, and Edmund Sumner.
Do you, however, like the notion or the idea that at PrizePicks you get $100 first match deposit bonus, 100%, and you get a free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum, $120 value for every single tool on our site?
It's a great deal.
I like that.
I like it so much that I started doing a video about it.
I know. I'm pretty excited about that too. You
Likewise.
got the prize. Yeah. Well, isn't that the funny thing though? You know, you'd have certain places, and I think that's the one thing I love. And you guys know, I know Josh is the same way. Like, there have been spots where, like, there are certain places come to us with offers and a certain sites, and we're just like, yeah, we don't feel comfortable doing reads for this or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? So we don't. One thing we do is, like, if it's PrizePicks, we have the videos every day. We have the tools, right? We have everything you need to be successful. We're not just saying like, hey, go check it out, sign up, and get your deposit bonus and fuck off from there. No, it's like, hey, we have all of the tools. We have everything, and all of the videos. Like, Josh has a PrizePicks video. He's been throwing them out there on Twitter as well. We have daily PrizePicks content. All of the player prop tools over at Stokastic.com, which, by the way, you use the link in the description and you use the link or the link in the chat. You're getting all of our projected stats, right? Like, you're getting everything that's going to help you win at PrizePicks. And at PrizePicks, it's simple, man. All you're doing, you're making lineups with player props. You're taking the over or the under. There's no juice on either side, which means like you're not going to see a minus 120 and a plus 110 to the over, and all you're doing is taking the prop over or under. You can mix as many sports as you want. And unlike a traditional sports book, where if you say do a 5-leg parlay and you hit 4 or 5, you get 0 money back. PrizePicks, you still 2x. You still make money back on going 3 of 5. You can hit 25x if you go 6 of 6, You go 5 of 5, it's 10x. Like I said, still 2x. You still double up if you hit 4 of 5 and you have a bad break, like I think Josh did with the Luka injury the other day. I mean, that type of stuff is huge for sustaining a bankroll. It's awesome. And for the Super Bowl, you got the free square. Patrick Mahomes over, I think, half a passing yard. So you're just locking that in. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Which do you prefer the most? Do you like the 5 for 5 flex plays?
I think 5 of 5 is the best profitability play for you based on the payout structure and assuming you're some sort of winning player. I would go to 6 of 6 after that. I wouldn't ever go any lower than that.
We got the prize odd shoppers behind paywall now, but the PrizePicks parlay builder over there is nasty. But we got so much other stuff that you're getting with the free month. So listen, man, everything on the site that we have, all of our tools for every sport, right? Not just PrizePicks, not just basketball, everything, whether it's MMA, NASCAR, PGA, NBA, anything, NHL, football, all of that is free for the first month, $120 value, and our Discord. The hope is that you love it and that you win and you stick around. So check it out. Links in the description. Take advantage of the deposit bonus, 100% up to $100, and $120 value. Everything Stokastic plus Platinum for the entire calendar month. So check it out. Links in the description and in chat. All right.
I went 3 and 5 yesterday. Missed out on Şengün by a very, very small amount to get to 4 of 5. Sucks.
What were you on? Over rebounds or something?
Points, rebounds, assists, 31.5. He had 29.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for Şengün, man. He'll get back there. He'll get back there.
And then DeRozan wasn't even close, but smash Daniel Gafford, ultra smash Robert Williams, and then Jordan Poole I thought was basically a free square yesterday.
You're not getting everything back, but the fact that like you still make some money back on 3 of 5 compared to a traditional parlay is very helpful.
Look, if you can, like 3 of 5 is bad, but I picked 60% winners for yesterday. If you think that you have a 60% chance of picking each one of these individual prize picks, you are going to be very profitable at PrizePicks.
Yeah.
But there are going to be days where you go 3 of 5 and it's just like, okay, I ran in place for today.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's why it's blowing up too. It can blow up because there's plenty of dumb players out there that are just going to feed into them making money. But then there's also smart people out there that can take, they can leverage the system and the right tools and even videos from you or whatever to make the right play. So again, check it out. It's awesome. Chicago and Memphis. Chicago Bulls. Here's a second of a back-to-back as well.
Yeah. Isn't
it insane how different the pricing on this Chicago Bulls team has been between DraftKings and FanDuel lately? I think it's a little bit better now, or at least a little bit more stable or comparable. But yesterday, like Chicago was so popular on FanDuel, and then on DraftKings, it's like 10%, 11% here, and that was an 8-game slate.
Yeah, there's been a very big gap in pricing this season. It's starting to thin out a little bit more, but it's there again today. It's really hard to talk about Chicago other than the fact that DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine all look basically the same from a projection standpoint relative to their salary. I literally have all three at 4.8x their salary. Independent of like knowing that I was going to do that, that's just where they all come in. DeMar's pulling the most ownership. I think it's pretty clear that Zach LaVine is the best option from a price and position standpoint, but all of those guys to me are the same. I'm happy to get to any of them. Pay close attention to the news if Alex Caruso is going to be in or out. If Caruso is out, it unlocks Drummond again at 3,100. If you want to go that direction as a pay down center, already pulling 10% ownership. Otherwise, it's like a really uneventful team to try to get to. It's the highest owned guy that isn't DeRozan is LaVine at 7. After that, it's 4%. Like, you're just not playing the Bulls today.
Man, Drummond went nuclear last night.
It's so annoying.
He shot 9 for 9. He had 21 and 15. People sleep on Drummond's ability to rack up steals if he gets the minutes, by the way. Always been pretty good at that. Yeah. He had 3 steals, a block, so he had 4 stocks. On DraftKings, though, 2.35 DraftKings points per minute. That is the ceiling game of all ceiling games, unless you're like Tari Eason. But I mean, holy shit, dude. It's nuts.
It's nuts. And what's really crazy, Vooch was at 2.05x. He had 48.5 fantasy points in 23.5 minutes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So both centers, like they
had
are,
100 points.
They were in the optimal together.
That's nuts.
I would never have played them together.
You can't.
But they were in the optimal together.
I guess you could, just because Drummond could play, 16 minutes and give you 32 on occasion. So I guess like you don't like those mutually exclusive plays, but if you're ever going to do it, you do it with a Drummond, because once in a while, and Vooch did it. 24 minutes. They had 100 combined fantasy points in 44 minutes. They didn't even soak up the full 48.
No, it's insane. Insane.
All right. Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant. Hey, he's healthy. He's good to go. Yeah. He's off the injury report. Kind of an enticing spot here for Ja. 10-3. Xavier Tillman, we have pretty popular. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. So Memphis for what it's worth, because we've seen guys in and out of the rotation, 1 game absences left and right, suspensions, you name it. Other than Steven Adams, here's another team that back tonight for Tuesday is pretty healthy.
I love this Memphis team today, in particular Ja Morant. You're getting Dylan Brooks back, but that's fine. When Morant, Bane, Brooks, and Jackson are all available, Brooks takes the back seat. He's got like an 18% usage rate when those guys are healthy. Ja looks fantastic. I got him in. He's at 1.45 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. That's about where I have him in this spot. It's always advantageous to take on Chicago. The fact that he's only 12% owned is very interesting to me. He is my preferred pay up option. Like, I like him more than Julius Randle, who's getting 20% ownership. I like Ja Morant more than LeBron James, that's getting 10. I like him relative to salary pretty comparably to Nikola Jokic. Ja is the guy that I think is easiest to get to, combining upside and price. I've got him in about 30% of lineups. That makes me happy. But I'm also getting to Jaren Jackson at 7,300. He's got the power forward center eligibility. I don't know what is causing it, but with Steven Adams out, Jaren Jackson's just like not fouling and now playing 30 minutes a game. So I have him in for 30 instead of the 28 we got used to. Tillman is perfectly reasonable value for today at 4,600. If you want to get some center value, 25% ownership. I don't think any of that is crazy. I think Bane is also fine at 7,600. The only guy that you can't play that starts is Dylan Brooks at 5,600. To me, that's an impossibility, but you want to get to any of those other 4 guys, by all means. I think Morant and Tillman are the clear best options.
Are they your 2 favorite plays from this game too, then?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Let's talk about Minnesota, Denver. Then we'll get into this whole LeBron thing to wrap up the show.
Great.
He needs what, 36?
Something like that. I don't know.
36. Yeah, I think it's 36.
It's annoying.
Oh man. Yeah, that's going to be a point of contention with a lot of people today. So we'll get into that.
But I know most people are stupid, so I'm happy to get into it.
I was looking too. I was seeing if this was like the last home game they have, and for a bit, and then they go on maybe they go on a little bit of a stretch of road games, but they got another home game against the Bucks. Like he's going to break it. So their next game is against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why
at home.
Yeah. Yep.
So
we'll get there.
Okay. But you see where I'm going with this.
Yes, anyway. I do.
And by the way, LeBron James against the Oklahoma City Thunder, like it's still again, still yes. High. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back on track here.
Okay.
We got Minnesota, and how many likes do we have, by the way?
Not enough.
121 with 600 people watching.
Pathetic.
What?
Pathetic.
That's insane.
It's truly pathetic.
Yeah, that's a way to rally the troops.
Well, maybe they'll take that disgust to heart.
Yeah, and if you hate it, hit the thumbs down twice, but show some love. Atone for your sins. Bow down before the YouTube gods. Come on. Only takes a second. I know the people watching after the fact will come in here and do their part. Minnesota. Rudy Gobert, questionable. I guess you assume he plays at this point. It's been kind of weird with him, though. Kyle Anderson, Jordan McLaughlin, all questionable. Austin Rivers suspended. Just looking at Minnesota right now, given what we have, like if Anderson plays, he's relatively popular. Speaks to, like you said, not a ton of that that like 4 or 5K value today. Jaden McDaniels is pulling 13%. Do you get to any of these expensive guys though? Like Anthony Edwards is $10,000 on DraftKings now.
No, I think he's too expensive for today. Like clearly he can be a pivot in a chalky lineup, but not a guy that I'm trying to get to. I took the under in D'Angelo Russell's assists on my PrizePicks video today, so that should probably let you know how I feel there. I think the Jaden McDaniels ownership is fine. I think Rudy Gobert is probably a little underrepresented at 6% ownership, but nothing too crazy. The guy that I like most is $5,900 Kyle Anderson. I mean, he's a 0.95 to a 1 fantasy point per minute guy. The last 2 games have been a problem for him, playing 5 minutes and 13, but we know why that's the case. If he's playing, this is a guy that plays about 30 minutes a game as a starter. At 4,900, I think he looks the best of any option here from Minnesota. He's the guy that I'm 2Xing at this moment. He kind of just does a little bit of everything, 15% usage, a 22% assist rate, a 9% rebounding rate. He checks off a lot of boxes, so he's got a really high floor, but on the off chance that he's like getting to the rim or something, he starts to get a really high ceiling.
With Denver, everybody's probable, so that's good. Like we have a pretty good idea here. Nikola Jokic probable, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, even KCP. They're all in the injury report, but they're probable. Jamal Murray's been on just a torrid pace lately. We've got Nikola Jokic as, I believe, the most popular high-priced player by a pretty significant margin today. Yeah, I mean, the next closest is like Julius Randle around 20%. Nikola Jokic, man, we have him at 27% today at this price. That goes a long way in kind of illustrating why guys like Saric and Alvarado and some of these other guys are getting ownership right now too.
I'm very happy to get to Jokic at 11.6. I don't think that we have enough value out there for him to justify that 27%. That's why we're seeing that Alvarado ownership. I think that's a little bit of a fool's errand on Jokic. I'd rather just save the money, get to more Morant since I don't have it. But it's not because I don't like Jokic. I do think that he is the best pay up option when you can afford him. I just don't know how easy it is. He's really weird in that his rates are so much lower than you would think they would be when this whole starting 5 is around. But at the same time, he still projects as like a 1.7 fantasy point per minute guy at those rates. 26% usage. Like it's pretty pedestrian. Murray is matching him. He's not shooting like he was when Murray was gone, but he also has a 43% assist rate and a 20% rebounding rate. He does everything. If you get Jokic, be happy about it. It's a great spot for him. I don't mind going to Gordon or Murray. I think both guys deserve the 15% ownership they're getting. I don't have much interest in anything else for Denver, and I'm quite confident we don't see Bones Highland today.
Yeah. Man, this last game is... Oh, let me ask you this, though. Just because this Denver and Minnesota game's kind of odd, would your favorite play be Jokic, or because of the ownership, would it be potentially Jamal Murray here?
It's Jokic for me because I'd rather try to find a way to get to like Jokic and Morant if we get enough ownership. If I take Murray at 8,200, that's just one less spot where I have the opportunity to get to Ja Morant. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. Murray's been spectacular though. It's nice to see. You know what it is about Murray? Of course the scoring is important. Like you need Jamal Murray to be putting up solid production as a scorer. But you've just seen a really consistent ability to get those ever needed assists from a guy like that, right? Because when you have a guy like Nikola Jokic out there, you're going to have so many instances where he just siphons off so much of that from your point guard. But Murray, you're not going to see many, 12 assist games. But with the way that he's been, the usage that we've seen from getting up 20 plus shots a game, seeing a lot of double digit 3-point games, 3-point attempt games. If you're giving me like 6, 7, 8 assists and 5 rebounds, you're very happy with that production.
Yeah, because while you may be giving up a couple assists, you're also taking on like wide open looks that Jokic has found that no one else could do it. So like you're able to make up for it in other aspects of your game. And especially for someone like Murray, who's still going to shoot. Jokic is just creating so much free space for you that you're willing to give up a little bit on the other side.
You ready to wrap this one up?
More than a little bit.
All right, let's do it. Well, first things first, baby. We told you PrizePicks get you the free month, but a lot of people don't. Most people have access to PrizePicks. Like if you're in a non-legal betting state, you can get the PrizePicks. if you're not, and you're banging your head against the wall going, I never get good things. Nothing good ever happens to me. I would have liked the free month. I would have liked the first match deposit bonus up to $100. I would have liked to watch Josh's videos, use all the tools to make money. Don't worry, because if it's not available in your state, BetMGM probably, I think it was Dez that was like, hey, PrizePicks isn't available. Well, that sucks, but BetMGM is, which means that you're getting a free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum if you have 2 minutes and $10. That's it. And you're getting a first bet insurance up to $1,000, which means if you put 10 in and you lose your first bet, you get it all back in bonus bets. If you put 100 or 1,000 in and lose your first bet, you get it all back in bonus bets. But if you click the link, you'll see what I mean. The link and in the description. You click that. The steps are super easy. It takes 2 minutes to sign up. You put $10 in. Put it on any bet. Put it on one of our best bets from the NBA Bet Pro. The first week of that is free and that's been crushing. Or put it on, something Josh has where the lines for PrizePicks are the same over at BetMGM where they line up. Put it on whatever. If you win, you get paid out. You get your money and you get the free month. $120 value, all of our tools, every single sport, you name it, across the board for the month, no strings attached. If you lose, you get all the free month, everything I just talked about, all the tools built by Alex Baker, and an amazing team that we have with the best tools you're going to find out there. And if, like I said, you lose, you get it all back in bonus bets. So it's huge. If you're rocking the Stokastic avatar, Josh, people are saying, I want to get up in the Hall of Fame. How can I get up in the Hall of Fame? Because they're trying, but they can't pay. Some of them, playing smaller stakes, they can't play. Can't pay for $120 a month. Now you don't have to. You need $10. That's it. Sounds like a good deal.
It's as easy as it gets. I mean, the BetMGM one to me is simple. Get the free month. If this is the best that we can, you're pinching pennies here. If this is,
and a lot of people play smaller stakes,
right. You take that free month, you get everything behind our paywall for a month. You take whatever it would have cost for that free month, which is like $120 or something. I think our platinum package is
120.
Use that as your deposit. And then you're basically taking 2 shots at that deposit. If you win and you want to bring that back out, that's just your money. You win your first bet. It's first bet insurance up to $1,000. If you happen to lose, they give you another run at it in bonus bets for whatever you put in there. So you can kind of just check off all the boxes if you want. And you've got a really decent shot to walk out of that completely neutral with a month of our tools and whatever you win in your first bet.
Exactly. I think it's the best too for smaller stakes players, because how many people in smaller stakes have access to these tools? Like, it's a huge edge having these tools.
No doubt about it. It's a time edge too.
What's that?
It's a time edge
for
you.
Big time.
You save so much time. You get so much time in your life back by hand. Look, I do so much work to work on my own projections for myself. And I know that the guys behind the scenes are doing the same thing for our projections on the website. I have an ego that doesn't allow me to just use basketball stuff. It's got to be me. It's always been me for 10 years. But I know how much time that takes. For you to create your own NBA stuff, it's going to cost you hours in each day, every single day. And when you miss 2 or 3 days and you don't have that same rhythm that you had, it becomes a problem. We're cutting all of that out for you so that you could just show up and get it.
Yep. For $10 for the entire month. So
right.
Win some money, rock the avatar. You get the free month, win some money, stick around, start playing higher stakes, build the bankroll. And if you hate it, just bounce. If it's not for you, you're like, I'm down $10 at the end of the month. What, 30 cents a day? Think about it. It's a legit no-brainer. All right, let's wrap this one up. Oklahoma City Thunder on the road against the LA Lakers. LeBron James looking to break the all-time points record. But first, we got to start it off with the OKC Thunder on the road side of this one. Second of a back-to-back for them as well. Here, you want to see another one, speaking to the lack of value that we currently have. Jalen Williams and Aaron Wiggins are both popular plays today. Oh, God, Aaron Wiggins, man, that is gross.
Yeah, and again, this is why you're seeing that ownership on Jokic, because we're just grabbing some guys that probably shouldn't be this owned for right now.
That's what I was saying earlier. Exactly, yeah.
I think if we get a little bit of value, this can all just go away. And the Jalen Williams of the world, the Aaron Wiggins, become like 8 to 10% owned. Guys you cycle through. And I don't have much else to add there. Like, if I'm playing anybody here, I'm playing Shea and I'm playing Jalen Williams without the Y. Maybe if you want to, you can go to Aaron Wiggins, who got up to 25 minutes on Monday. I don't love it, but at 3,600, he's probably the guy I want to get to first of the garbage. But I'm going to focus on SGA, Williams, and Giddey, and I'm going to try to avoid the rest of the slop from the Thunder until I don't have a choice.
That SGA price point's getting up there, man.
I mean, that's why I like Ja more, but at
Me
the same
too.
time, he's 6% owned. Like,
yeah, that's always interesting.
I'd rather have Shea than LeBron for today.
Would you really?
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a perfect segue to wrap this one up. And of course, 237.5 total here. Lakers are 7-point favorites. As far as implied totals go on this slate, Lakers actually have the highest implied total at 123, followed by Memphis, Denver at 121 or 122 and 121 respectively. So yes, the Lakers do have the highest implied total. There are a lot of, it's closely grouped up there at the top between those three teams and the Pelicans. But we got to start with LeBron James. He needs 36 points to break the all-time scoring record, to become the all-time points leader. Look, could it happen today against OKC? It certainly could. It's not a bad matchup whatsoever. But it is worth pointing out, like, they have another home game coming up on Thursday where he could just go out and get like 15 easy and break it. So I'm not sure. Is there more incentive to doing it all with a big 36-point game? Yes, from a media standpoint,
yeah,
there is no, you would agree, there is no doubt about that. Like, that's still LeBron James with 40 points en route to breaking the record, of course. But he doesn't actually need to do shit today, is all I'm saying.
He doesn't. And I don't understand why everybody's acting like he does. Like, could he go out there and break it? Yeah, of course. I think it's going to be really weird if it's a competitive game and he breaks it with like 2 minutes to go and they've got to stop the game to do like a giant bullshit ceremony during the middle of it all. What
do you think they do?
If it's a competitive game, they're not slowing anything down. They're doing it after the game, which is hilarious because then they could lose. But you can't stop a competitive game in the fourth quarter to like fillet LeBron on the floor for 15 minutes. You just can't.
No, that would listen. That would be insane to just for one guy. Like, okay, I get it. He's one of the most. He's one of the most recognizable basketball players ever, right? It's Michael Jordan, it's LeBron James after that, really, for at least our generations. But to just stop a game and do some ceremonial nonsense would, to me, be highly disrespectful.
If it's competitive, like if it's competitive late, and like based on the amount that he needs, this is something that he could get with like his second to last basket in the game,
right? Oh my God, what if OKC was down by like 15, right? They go on a 20-3 run, and now they have a one possession lead. LeBron scores to break it, and they stop the game where OKC's got loads of momentum. How messed up would that be?
They're gonna stop it. I don't know if they stop it. Like, if it goes to the next game and he needs 4, they stop it for ages and do all of the nonsense in the next game 4 minutes into the Bucks game.
But what are they going to do? Like, what are you talking? Like, what
I assume it's going to be like senior night or when like kids got their 1,000 in high school. Like, his parents are going to come out and all this other nonsense.
Like so suspend the game for a period.
Yeah.
They can't do it late in this game.
I assume.
Maybe if it's a blowout. I still think like they'll call a timeout and everyone will run out there onto the floor and stuff.
Oh, they're not even going to have to call timeout. They're just going to stop the game.
Yes. I meant an official timeout.
Oh yeah.
Not the Lakers.
It's going to be so dumb.
So,
do you know why it's dumb?
Please enlighten me.
It's an easy one. It's really funny. I'm about to say this and I don't know if it's true.
Is that why you were looking to your right to Google something?
You're damn straight. You're damn straight.
All right, why is it an easy one that you had to look up?
Hold on. Let me get here. I'll know in 1 second. Where's it at? Okay, it's an easy one. Now I know I'm right. You know why this is dumb? Because he already has it. We don't count playoff points. For some stupid reason, this is regular season scoring only.
So you're saying
he's the all-time leading scorer in the NBA already.
LeBron already is all-time if you include playoffs.
Correct.
Well, the reason they don't include that is because then it's like a level playing ground, right? Level playing field.
You should assume that the guy that scored the most points made the playoffs.
I know. Oh, I know. But I'm saying, why else wouldn't they do it?
LeBron has scored 1,700 more points than Michael Jordan in the playoffs at this point. He's close to 2,000 ahead of Kareem. He broke this before this year started.
Tank said Bron don't give a shit about none of that. Yeah, he does. I don't buy that. Unless maybe we're talking about something different. Maybe he was referring to something else.
LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA already.
Yeah, no, good point. But he's not. You know, it would be funny if he scores like 25 today and then next game scores 11 and everyone plays him because it's like, this is the game. He scores 11 and then he just takes a backseat role and kind of just hangs out for the remainder of that one.
It's really funny. Like, we're getting people being like, he cares about the record. He cares about the record. Like, surely he does care about the record, but I don't think he gives a shit about the record in the grand. No one ever thought to themselves, like, I definitely want to pass Kareem. Like, that's just, it's all about, it's rings culture. You're trying to catch people with rings.
But this is I mean, this is,
it's a crowning achievement on your career. But like, no, you grow up as a kid thinking, I want to hit more home runs than, at least for me, Roger Maris. Like an actual record that people cared about.
No, I get it.
I don't even, no one knows how many points Kareem scored. That wasn't like a number that people cared about.
I know, it's kind of funny, but it is still like, if you were to ask somebody, what is the greatest record you could hold in the NBA, right? Like, ask a layman, ask a casual sports fan, not talking about championships, but like individual they would say points.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that's why. But dude, he's got how many he's going to break it. That's why I don't really know how much it matters. Like, he's going to break this record unless he just, unless like, he gets a hold of Jeremy Renner's Snowcat, then he's going to be out there. So he's going to be out there. Anyway, what else are you doing with the Lakers?
I mean, I like AD way more than I like LeBron. I'm not going to have a single share of LeBron James tonight. I will likely have Anthony Davis at 10,500. I think that price is nice. I don't hate the idea of going to Anthony Davis if you don't have the money to get to Nikola Jokic. Anthony Davis should thrive against the Oklahoma City front court of nobody, and nobody. So go ahead and grab yourself some AD. The only other guy that I would want to get to today, and he is the one guy that kind of scares me for this spot, but he's also the type of guy that is not going to let this matter at all to him. And that's Russell Westbrook at 7,200. If he's playing 28 minutes a game as like a 1.2 guy, I think he should be more owned than 5% against the Oklahoma City Thunder, particularly when I assume that he'll just still try to like pull down boards and run in transition and do some Russ nonsense. So the guy that I like the least of those three guys is unquestionably LeBron James.
Would be hilarious though if Westbrook just takes over and dominates.
And just FYI, I'm the biggest LeBron supporter that I know. I think he's the best player of all time. I'm 100% LeBron over MJ. I just don't like him today.
Do you like Russell Westbrook like throughout his career as a basketball player?
I liked OKC Westbrook.
Okay. How would it change your opinion on him if LeBron has 34 points, like two defenders fall, and Westbrook and LeBron have a 2-0 break uncontested, and Westbrook comes and just jams it?
Does the fake handoff pass and then takes the layup? Just like chops him on the way up the floor?
Would that not be the best thing ever? That would be the best. And people would hate him for it, but it would be
I'd love it. Yeah. Because he's going to break it anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. It's funnier to me if he just doesn't let him get it.
Yeah, it would be great. Oh my God, I would love that.
Just double birds on the way back down.
Yeah. And that's like as time expires, by the way. That's the end of the game.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Remarkable.
It'd be so great.
Anything else
He's
here?
so
We're ready
great.
to wrap this one up. Of course, we have Deeper Dive live before lock. We got all that good stuff today. And news is certainly going to break, particularly with Brooklyn that we're waiting on. Anything else we haven't hit on that you want to touch on before we leave?
I don't think so. It looks like I've properly lit chat on fire with the LeBron over MJ take. Look, he unquestionably had the best career in NBA history, given the way that the league is set up now.
Yeah.
You want to say that it's Bill Russell, knock yourself out. There are 8 teams in the NBA at that point in time. To do this in a salary cap, to do this in a salary cap era with constant turnover for teams and things, for him to come in at the age that he did, play for 20 years, become the all-time leading scorer. It's the greatest career in NBA history. You want to tell me that Jordan's peak of back-to-back 3 titles is better than LeBron's peak? I'm willing to have that conversation, but we're talking about 2 different things. LeBron is going to play so much more real basketball than Michael Jordan did that we're not, it's not even apples to oranges any longer.
I agree. I do actually agree with you.
It's like 10,000 plus minutes or something stupid.
But you also know that anytime you make that comment, chat goes wild. So it's a tinderbox every time. Hey, appreciate you guys. You're the best. Links to PrizePicks, BetMGM, get the free month of Stokastic, get the deposit bonuses. Oh, and I should say with BetMGM, it must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Boom. Almost forgot that one. Just covering my ass here. But hey, appreciate you guys. You're the best. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman, me at Laffy_D. Shout out to Jordan for producing the show. He's going to go walk around the apartment a little bit. Get those 300 steps in. Until next time, we'll catch you back here on the Strategy Show. Peace.